Hey everybody, this is Mace1370 back for another Gatecrash release draft. Not pre-release draft, release draft. Alright, well let's see what we have in this pack. A rare is Sepulchral Primordial. There are a lot of 7-drops in this format, and I think they have to be particularly good to make the cut. This guy is not bad. I mean, he basically guarantees that you get value from him since, if there's a creature in the graveyard, I should say he guarantees value since you get that creature from your opponent's graveyard. But I don't know, 7 mana is quite a bit. I don't like to start out a draft with a 7-drop typically. Miming Slime is not terrible. Bane Alley Broker is quite good. Ground Assault I think is very good. I'm probably going to take Ground Assault for now. I've been very impressed with this card. It's removal that works well at pretty much all stages of the game, and it's cheap, so it's great in the beginning. It's typically great in the end. I think Ground Assault is very good. Kingpin's Pet is quite good. Having Extort and Evasion and 2 power is a very solid body for 3 mana. Death's Approach is pretty good. Skyjack is good. Frilled Oculus is good. There's a lot of good cards in that pack, but I think Ground Assault is a pretty solid card. Okay, so that said, I don't really see any good Gruul cards in this pack. Ruination Worm is okay. It's not a card that I'm going to second pick typically, and there are a few other cards in this pack that I think are probably worth taking. Cloudfin Raptor I think is pretty good. It can be a bummer if you draw it, like in the late game, and you don't really have anything to pump it up, but man, when Simic curves out with this thing on turn 1, that is a scary game. Denrova Horror is pretty good. Yeah, I think I'm going to take the Cloudfin Raptor. Worst case scenario, if we get into Simic, this is a card that is splashable. So what do we have here? Righteous Charge is pretty good. Gridlock is not bad for Simic. Disciple of the Old Ways is a pretty good 2-drop. Pit Fight I think is pretty good too. I like that it's instant. That's nice. This would work in Gruul or in Simic, either way, so maybe we take this. I think it's probably this or the Disciple. The Disciple, I guess, also goes in Simic or in Gruul. Gridlock, I guess, is probably good for Simic, and probably less good for Dimir, since most of your things have evasion or you're trying to win by decking them. Keymaster Rogue, I think, is playable, but it's pretty slow, so it doesn't go in all types of decks. Like, it's not an auto-include if you're blue. But there's definitely the type of deck that likes to run it. So yeah, between Pit Fight and Disciple, I guess I'd probably go for the Pit Fight. What do we have in this pack? We have a Zertar Swine. Way of the Thief is not very good. Verdant Haven is okay. Sage's Denizen is okay. Active Treason is okay. I think Active Treason is probably better in Boros, where you're trying to assemble a battalion a lot. And, I guess Active Treason can kind of help you do that. I guess we'll take the Zertar Swine. Yeah, looking at this pack, nothing really jumps out at me as being particularly good for pick 4, in terms of trying to figure out a signal. This guy's pretty good, so him being here is nice. But yeah, nothing really jumps out at me, as being inappropriate for this pack, so I'm not really sure what's open yet. So we'll just, I guess, continue to bounce between Simic and Gruul, I guess. I guess we're leaning more towards Gruul right now, but now there's a Hands of Binding, and there's really nothing in this pack that shouts out Gruul to me. And I think Hands of Binding is very good, especially with Cloudfin Raptor. I don't think Zertar Swine is a card I would splash. Greenside Watcher is a card to consider. So maybe I do that. I don't know, this is tough. We haven't, I guess, other than the Cloudfin Raptor, we haven't really seen anything that screams that Simic is open. So it's probably worse for me to take the Greenside Watcher here than I guess the Hands of Binding. But I think, Greenside Watcher is a decent 2-drop. Alright, well, there's Frilled Oculus, which I guess I like, but yeah, another Sage's Denizen, a Scadplan Charger. Let's see what our cost looks like. So yeah, at this point it's looking like we're probably not Simic. I haven't really seen a card that really points me in that direction other than the Cloudfin Raptor, and that was pack 2. So for us, I guess it's between the Charger and the Active Treason. Thrall Parasite I think is probably overrated, just as an aside. 1 mana Extort, you see that and you think like, wow, such value. But you're getting a 1/1 body and a potentially irrelevant ability. So I'm going to take the Scadplan Charger. Extort I think is at its best when it's on a body that does something else, and then it's just, pure gravy. Also, when you play an Extort thing on turn 1, unless you play another turn 1 the next turn and then a 2, unless you're delaying your whole game plan by a turn, it just feels not very good. Okay, well, this pack is pretty unexciting. I guess Dutiful Thrall is the only card, or maybe Smog Elemental, that is decent. I don't know really where to put Riot Gear. Riot Gear seems not that great. I guess we'll take it though, just because there's really nothing else there. And for this pack, it's looking like we're not going to splash black, or and we're not blue. So the Dimir Guildgate is out. We could take Naturalize for the sideboard. Predator's Rapport is not playable as far as I'm concerned. Oh, interesting. So the Miming Slime table, that's probably okay. So did Death's Approach. This card's really good. I think people underrate it. So what was I going to hide? Oh yeah, probably the Naturalize. I don't think we're main decking that. And I don't think we're main decking the Riot Gear either. And probably not the Cloudfin Raptor. Primal Visitation does not seem very good to me. 5 mana for just +3/+3 and Innocent Aura. Giving something haste is pretty irrelevant, I guess, unless you put it on that like 1/1 with like evasion on turn 6, which I don't know if that's your big play. That's kind of not that impressive. Ruination Worm, I guess we'll take. And here there's really not much, so I guess we'll take a Forced Adaptation. Not entirely sure how playable this card is. I guess it probably depends on the matchup. Maybe in the mirror it's good, but if they have a lot of removal, then it's probably not that great, just because it's so slow. They have time to get rid of it. I guess we'll take this card because it could be annoying. And here we'll play Bioshift because theoretically we could play it. I guess we'll take a card. I don't think Razor Tech Whip is playable at all. Alright. So overall an okay start. I didn't get like a super strong signal one way or the other, to be honest. But it looks like green is possibly open. Like the pit fight, and we opened the ground assault, but yeah. And a couple things tabled, which is nice. We got this guy on pick 4, I think. Okay, what do we have in this pack? Well, there's a Simic Guildgate. There's also a Gideon. I don't know how... I'm just going to temporarily take him here. I'm going to go check to see how much he's worth. He was not worth very much at the pre-release, so let's see if he's increased at all. Yeah, I mean, he's worth 4 tickets, so that's not much. That's really not much at all. I guess probably because he's not very good. This pack does not really have anything good for us, I don't think. Ruination Worm might even table. I mean, maybe it won't if there's another Gruul player. Alpha Authority I don't think is very good. Killing Glare is not bad, but there's no red-black or green-black lane, so we'd have to splash off like a Verdant Haven or something. I don't think that's the best. I'm just going to take the Gideon for 4 tickets. Hooray. Okay, well, Simic Guildmage, I guess is good if we were in Simic. Cinder Elemental is probably pretty good. He's slow, but he's very powerful. What else is in this pack? Verdant Haven, decent. Sage's Rare Denizen is decent. Oh, wait, no, we're not Simic. I keep thinking we're Simic. Metropolis Spread and Sage's Rare Denizen are decent. And so is Death Cult's Rogue, but none of these cards really fit into our deck. I feel like we didn't really pass any Gruul, so this should be a decent pack 2 for us, but it looks like they took a rare, so I don't know what that was, but we should get decent Gruul in this pack. Okay, well there's a Madcap Skills, Sylvan Primordial. This is another one of those 7 drops. So you get to destroy a non-creature permanent. And you get to put a land in play. But when you're on 7 lands, that's basically just filtering. So between Madcap Skills, another Zertar Swine, and Ivy Lane Denizen, and I guess Scadclan Charger, and maybe this guy I guess is in contention as well. This is a tough pick. Madcap Skills seems better in a very aggressive deck. I don't know how aggressive we're going to be. Ivy Lane Denizen seems fine, but kind of slow. Zertar Swine seems good. Maybe we just take him. Yeah, I guess we'll just take the Swine. I mean, I don't have a lot of experience with Gruul. I've played against it. I've never actually played it though, so this is going to be kind of a learning process for me. Alright, well, now we have another similar pick. There is another Verdant Haven, a Madcap Skills, the Cinder Elemental, and another Denizen. So I guess it's probably important not to get overloaded on 4 drops. There's 2 here. We've already taken 2. Cinder Elemental seems very strong though, so maybe it's worth taking. And then, taking Verdant Haven I guess is good if you want to splash something or ramp. I don't really know how important ramp is to Gruul. Yeah, I guess we're taking Cinder Elemental. Ivy-Lane Denizen I guess could be good. It might table though. I've seen it go around. Alright, well this pack is a little frustrating because there's not much here. Yeah, this pack is pretty empty. I guess we could take Simic Charm and maybe splash it if we get a couple free Simic Guild Gates. Yeah, there's really nothing. There's a Cloudfin Raptor, but not great. Okay, here's another bad pack. These packs have not been going well. Maybe I misread the signals in pack 1, but it's possible these packs are just weak. There's a Dimir Key Rune, which is good. Executioner Swing is good, or it's okay, I guess. We could take a Primal Visitations, or I guess we could take a Towering Thunderfist, but we don't, have white mana to activate it. Maybe if we picked up a Boros Guildgate. 4/4 for 5. We have 2 Zertar Swines already. This guy doesn't seem great. But I don't think we're playing Primal Visitation, so I guess we'll take him. I'm not planning on playing him now. Okay, well, I think Scorchwalker is really the only card here that we would play, so we'll take it. Interesting. Agoraphobia is incredibly solid. I'm surprised to see it here this late. So between Spire Tracer and Greenside Watcher, since we didn't grab the Madcap skills, I guess we take the Greenside Watcher and hope to get some gates to use it with. Alright, well, speaking of gates, there's Simic Guildgate here, which we can take. I don't think we need a Ruination Worm at this point. We already have a bunch of fatties, so I'll take the Guildgate. If anything, it taps for green. Wow. Death Cult Rogue, Sage's Road Denizen, and Smite, all still in the pack. Questionable. I guess we'll take the Verdant Haven. I don't really want a 4-mana 2/2 flyer. Okay, wow, so the 7-drop and the Ivy-Lane Denizen tabled. I guess that's a good sign for us. So I guess there's maybe like 1 Gruul player at the table. This guy's pretty good, and we might have some ramp, so maybe he's worth taking. And we have a ton of 4-drops, so we'll just take him. Alright, another Verdant Haven. Also a Spire Tracer. Maybe it's worth taking this guy. I don't... this is tough. Yeah, this guy just doesn't seem that great to me, so I'll take the Verdant Haven. I don't think it matters which of those we take. And they can have a Razor Tip Whip if they want. So pack 2 is very unexciting. At least we picked up a couple Greenside Watchers and a Gate. So there's that. Alright, well we have a Ripscale Predator. This guy is pretty good. We have a Suntome Guild Mage, which we can't really use. Soul Ransom is good, but we're pretty far away from casting that. Mind Drake is good as well, but we're not in blue. So I guess for us it's probably between Disciple of the Old Ways and Ripscale Predator. And it seems to me like we have some fat at the end of our curve. I know this guy is really good, and I think a lot of people complain that I didn't take it and pick 2 or 3 of the first draft I did. So I recognize that this guy is solid, but I think we need to get some early drops since we don't have very many at this point. I guess Massive Raid is also a potential pick. We have 1 Ground Assault in the Pit Fight, so we have a little bit of removal. I guess technically Cinder Elemental too. Yeah, I'm going to take the 2-drop. I think our deck needs it. Interesting. So here, there's several cards that we could take. Wasteland Viper I think is pretty good. So is Burning Tree Emissary. I don't think our deck is the type of deck that is really going to explode on turn 2, just looking at the cards we have so far. So I'm going to take the Viper. This guy is very versatile. He can play defense for a while. He can act as pseudo removal, slash pump like a combat trick. I'm not really counting on the Burning Tree Emissary to table, but one can hope. All right. So here there's another Disciple, which we're probably taking. There's a Mark for Death. So this is a card that I actually think is underrated, and it wouldn't surprise me if this tables. People seem to ignore it for some reason. You can use this card to great effect when the board is stalled. It can just win out of nowhere, kind of like Teleportal. But we have a ton of 4-drops already, and I'd like to get more early creatures, so I'll take a Disciple. Ooh, Gruul Rage Beast is a card. I really want to take the Slaughterhorn, because Slaughterhorn is awesome. I'd really like that, and our 3-drop is low, but like this guy is just insane. So we're going to take him. I don't know if maybe Sylvan Primordial won't make the cut now, but yeah, this guy is bananas. Okay, so here's a Gruul Guildgate. Oh wow, and there's Mugging. This is painful because we have 2 Greenside Watchers, so it would be very nice to get another Guildgate or 2 to make these guys better in our deck, but I think we probably have to take Mugging here. We have some 2-drops now, so I don't think we need to, grab Disciple. I think Mugging's amazing. Hopefully we'll get another Guildgate or 2 in the rest of this draft. Alright, well, guess we're taking another Greenside Watcher. There's not much else here for us. I don't think Wildwood Rebirth is particularly playable. We're not really splashing, so Prophetic Prism is not useful really either for us. I think this pack is kind of a whiff. There isn't a mana ability. I don't think we have anything that, I guess technically we could double Greenside Watcher, but that's totally not worth it. Yeah, so, well, I could take Angelic Edict. We have double Verdenhaven, so that's 2 white sources right there, basically. Another Verdenhaven versus another Disciple versus a Debtor's Pulpit. I guess it's probably Disciple. I don't know if we need 3 Verdenhavens. Okay, and the Ripscale Predator even tabled, which is good. I guess we could take Burst of Strength here, but we have so much Blood Rush, or we have a decent amount of Blood Rush, I should say. So I don't know if we really need another combat trick, and I think Ripscale Predator is a very good 6-drop. Alright, well, it's looking like someone may be snapping up the Guild Gates, because I haven't seen any for a little while. This card is terrible. Forced Adaptation is pretty bad too. I'll just take a combat trick so someone else doesn't get it. Yep, and like I said, Mark of Death tabled. I'm going to grab it here. I don't know if it'll make our deck or not, but yeah, I think people are definitely underrating that card. Ooh, well, a Simic Guildgate tabled, so that's something. I wonder if the Gruul Guildgate tables, that would be awesome. Alright, well, the Massive Raid did, so I will take that happily. So our 3-drop is quite lacking, which is unfortunate. Miming Slime not at its best. Well, I guess we have a bunch of 2-drops, but I don't really want a Miming Slime at 2-drop. That just seems bad. So I think our deck ended up okay. Not great. Alright, so I think we do have the blue to splash, a blue card if we want to, just because we have the Verdant Havens as well. And, with if we play the Verdant Havens and we have 2 Guild Gates and we have so many Greenside Watchers, it's very possible that we could take advantage of both of our 7-drops. Don't know if that'll make the cut or not. That's probably not. So there's a potential blue card to splash. I don't think Cloudfin Raptors were splashing at all, for the record. Probably playing that. Okay, so we could throw in this, and 1 Verdenhaven, and maybe cut 1 more card for a Verdenhaven, just so we can ramp up a bit, because we have 2 7-drops. Mark of Death would be nice to fit in as well. Let's see. So I guess we could take out like a Ruination Worm, or probably, Ruination Worm is worse than Ripscale Predator, so probably not one of those. Massive Raid might not be that great for us. We have 2-drops, but I don't know. We have a lot of 4 and 5-drops, so it's just kind of clunky. You know what I mean? Like, you do a 2-drop, maybe you do a 3-drop, and then like you have Massive Raid sitting in your hand, and you're like, oh, I could like deal 1 or 2 damage and kill their like 2-drop, but now they're dropping 3 and 4-drops and still hitting me. So spending your turn 3 or 4 to kill their turn 2 play just seems kind of poor. And we have a few other removal spells, so it's not like we're completely out in the dark. We do have Angelic Edict that we could put in as well. So these are all options. We have a ton of 2-drops. So I feel like with 3 Greenside Watchers, I would like to, yeah, I think I'm going to take this out. And so then the question is, do I put in Simic Charm, or do I put in Angelic Edict? Simic Charm is pretty good. You know, you're able to kind of use it as a counter for their removal on your creatures. You can use it as bounce, which is probably not super relevant. But it, you know, it does answer some things like Madcap skills. And then the pump kind of fits in with our theme. And we have a Ground Assault and a Pit Fight and a Mugging for other things. So yeah, I guess we can maybe do that, but we need to cut one more thing for a Verdant Haven, I guess. It could be a Greenside Watcher. I think Disciple of the Old Ways is probably better. Yeah, I mean, maybe we don't want to go all in on like the Verdant Haven Greenside Watcher plan. Yeah, this is kind of a tough choice. I like also though that like this makes a lot of mana for Cinder Elemental. You know, being able to just fireball to their face should, I would imagine, be pretty effective. So maybe we could take out a Disciple and put in a Verdant Haven. Or maybe we take out Mining Slime. I don't think Mark of Death is going to make the cut. Yeah, I guess we'll try this. Well, let's see first. Alright, so we definitely don't need to play a blue, so we can crank that up to at least 7. And I would, yeah, is 7 red sources enough? We have double red on Ripscale Predator and 2 Verdant Haven, so that's probably fine. So we'll do that, and we can take out 2 forests and put in 2 Simic Guild Gates. Man, getting a Gruul Guild Gate would have been very good. I think there was one, I can't remember what I took over it. I think I might have taken a 2-drop, and like I kind of didn't realize we were just going to get a flood of them in the end of Pack 3. So that ended up not working out, but hindsight is 2020. So was there anything else I wanted to change? Oh yeah, the only other thing I was debating about was just being greedy and putting in Angelic Edict. In terms of what I could take out, it'd probably be something like Ruination Worm. And doing like that. I mean, we have the 2 Verdant Havens to play white, but I don't know, that seems a little clunky to me. So, yeah, I guess we're trying this, and then seeing how it goes. I don't really like our curve. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and submit and then go to game 1.